Greetings of the day, dear viewers. I am Sarah Sharma, a final year student from BBA at Christ deemed to be University, Pune Lavasa campus, and a part of BINC, which is short for BBA Insights Newscast Committee, the official media newsletter body of the School of Business and Management Department here at Christ University, Pune Lavasa campus. Our mission is simple. We tell the stories that make our department what it is. From student achievements and faculty insights to campus events and initiatives, we capture moments that deserve to be remembered while creating content that informs, inspires, and brings our community closer together. Let Us Dream started with a simple idea that people who dream for others can create real change. What began as a small gathering has grown into a global movement across education, health, and social work, coming together every 3 years at the triennial conference to share real stories of service and grassroots impact. The purpose of this podcast is Where It All Began, which looks back at these roots, aims at giving us better clarity about the Triennial International Conference, and reminds us how far a single dream can travel. This is that conversation. Welcome to the podcast. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge and welcome our guest for the day, Dr. Pauline Leonard, who is an executive leadership member at Let Us Dream and a very integral part of our advisory board. Thank you for joining us today, ma'am.
Well, thank you, Sarah, and thank you for taking the time to do this. I know with all your studies that's time consuming, so I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. So let's begin with a fun interaction. Take us back to when you first met Father Lijo before LUD had a name, when it was just an idea he was carrying around. What was he like then?
Well, that goes back a few years. I first met Father Lijo in 2010. At that time, I was a professor and administrator at Louisiana Tech University in Louisiana. And Father Lijo, not doctor yet, he is doctor now. Um, Father Lijo enrolled in two of my doctoral courses. He was doing a doctorate in leadership through the consortium of three universities, one of which was Louisiana Tech University, and the other two were Grambling State University and the University of Louisiana at Monroe, commonly referred to as ULM. In any case, he enrolled in the two courses. One was a leadership course in decision making, the other one was a qualitative research course. And when I first met him, he presented himself as someone who was dedicated, focused, also humble, which I might say he still has that quality of humility about him. And he was an extremely good student. That was my impression of him. And also, coincidentally, my husband at that time was the dean of the College of Education. So he also taught Father Lijo, and he came away with the same impression. We are very fond of Father Lijo and took an immediate liking and respect for him in our courses. So yeah, those were my first impressions of him and how I met him initially.
We're all very fond of him here too. So that's lovely to hear.
I know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So another thing, he wrote about the LUD vision during a leadership course at Louisiana Tech in 2010, like you said, long before it was anything real. So what do you see in it back then?
Um, okay, he actually, while Let Us Dream as it exists today wasn't in operation at that time, he actually wrote about, in his research course, he wrote a paper on the Dreams program. which is the Dreams Intervention Program, which was an after-school organization, collaboration, connecting schools and universities and young youth students, young youthful students. And so he wrote about that, and I could see the seeds of Let Us Dream and his connection to community and community improvement at that time. But he was kind of trying to figure out, is this a possibility of a research project? And we conferred, and I supported him on that idea. And so it became part of his doctoral dissertation to look at the impact of the DREAMS program, the after-school program for young students, to see how much impact it was having, what was effective, what was not working, and so on. So he conducted that research. I served on his committee. I was not his dissertation supervisor. That came from ULM, but I was a member of his doctoral dissertation committee. And so it was really, he had some significant findings which showed that the program was having a positive impact on the students, the teachers, and other adults in the community who were involved. So it was a really collaborative community project. So that was the initial, I guess, as I said, that was the seed that kind of grew and blossomed into Let Us Dream as it exists today.
That was such a nice anecdote that you shared. And a very good symbolization also.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so if we look back at Louisiana in 2017, 100 people, and none of them know yet what this is going to become. What's still vivid about that day?
What is still vivid about that day? It was a community conference, again, involving Louisiana Tech University, but also across the universities, three main universities in Louisiana, ULM and Grambling State University. We were a team that worked together. And by the way, I was not living in Louisiana at that time. I had retired from my position, my husband and we were living in Arizona. So my involvement was, I guess it was a precursor to the first online triennial conference. But yes, I was involved as a chair of the conference and communicating with people on our team, a really good team, but a smaller team than exists today, of course, for the triennial conference. And what really struck me was there was a lot of work that went into planning and organizing and so on. And on the day of the conference, it was held in the Louisiana Tech University auditorium. So it was a big room with 100 people kind of scattered about. And my first impression was, oh my, I wonder how this is going to work. Will people be not feel like they're a part of something? Will they really get the spirit of Let Us Dream and what we were trying to achieve in terms of making improving community by connecting all the organizations, the university, the schools, the community organizations, and so on. As it turned out, it was excellent. They caught the spirit, and again, that seed started to be germinated even more, and it was the beginning of roots taking place for Let Us Dream. So it was great, and what it did was inspire us to continue and share the vision that Father Lejo had way back when, actually, I think.
That was just lovely hearing. I wish you could go on and on about that. So,
I know, I know. I have to be more concise.
no, no, no. I actually enjoyed it. And so my next question will also be an extension of what we were talking about. So if
Mhm.
you laid Let Us Dream in 2017 next to Let Us Dream today, would you even recognize it as the same thing or would it be completely different?
I would recognize the heart
Oh,
of the conference back then
okay.
with the heart that is in Let Us Dream today. Now, that's a commonality. That's a thread that has woven its way through all of the conferences since then. But it's grown so much more. At that time, it was just the Dreams Intervention Program, which was the first project that Father Lejo had worked on, and then the conferences. But it was just a community conference in
Thank you.
Louisiana,
Yeah.
right? Now it's grown to local community conferences across the world, really. We've got so many going on in India. There's conferences, several locations here in the US. Germany, there's connections with some of the universities in Germany and South Africa. So it's growing. And it's now there are, instead of just the dreams and the conferences, now there's the local conferences plus the triennial conference. We're on the cusp of doing the third triennial conference this year, as you know. And there's also other arms of Let Us Dream. There's the clubs, the research arm, there's the fellowship, there's productions. So there's 6 major facets of Let Us Dream now, which is growing globally. So similarities, that thread, of the spirit and the heart of community improvement and accessing people who are willing and passionate about improving community and getting youth leaders involved, like yourself.
I love the answer to that one. Um, so if we had to
Good.
talk about 2020, the first international conference, and then the ground shifts and everything has to move online overnight, as we remember the Corona event that took place in all of our lives. Um, could you walk me through that scramble, how everything shifted?
Oh, wow. Yeah. The conference, as you said, was supposed to take place in Bangalore at Christ University. So the team, more or less, Father Lejo, through his connections, had gathered a lot of people to participate in serve on the different teams. And they had connections, so they spread their connections and got more people involved. So it seemed like, it was off to an initial good start. Then COVID hit, and it forced us to go online. And that was a learning process. Really, it was, because there were few of us who really had that kind of experience, I guess, in preparing a conference that was going to go online, that was going to involve, not just local people in Bangalore or at Christ University, but people again from Germany, from various places in the United States, and other areas too. So we had to find a way, and I say we, I mean the experts, like the technology team, and in terms of gathering all of the recordings that had to be collected, keynote speakers, the MCs, all that had to be, developed and then recorded and brought back to the various teams, and media productions and panel discussions, all to go online. So there was a lot of coordination uh, and a lot of work by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it was successful. It was successful.
Well, we can see it ourselves now.
Yeah,
It worked out really well.
it did. It did. Yes.
So, was there a moment in the middle of that chaos when something clicked, when you thought this is actually going to hold?
Well, okay. I will say that I trusted the team and the expertise of the team members. And in my heart and soul, I felt that, this should work. But I didn't breathe a sigh of relief until the very first day. It was a 3-day conference, by the way, over 3 days, health, the issues of education, health, and social activities and social aspects of the community. So when I saw that morning, the YouTube on YouTube, the opening, the music behind the first frame of the conference video frame, and the globe of the world coming up and let us dream. I just, oh gosh, this is wonderful. It's going to work. So that's my, I guess, top moment, thinking that, okay, this is coming together nicely.
That's lovely to hear again. I'm falling short on words because I'm just mesmerized by everything that has gone through over the years with that is dream.
Well, that's good, Sarah, because you really are joining a wonderful organization. So I think getting the history behind it, not that you didn't know already some of the history, but it does, I hope, help you realize just what an important organization Let Us Dream is.
And I'm so grateful to our college to be able to do this and have me do it so that I can get insights from someone who's been a part of the process since the very beginning.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that you're participating in this as well.
Thank you so much.
Again, I thank you.
So, ma'am, you've been on the advisory council since the beginning, and has that role become what you thought it would, or has it turned into something else entirely?
Well, currently, as a member of the Let Us Dream Advisory Council, my role is much more manageable in the sense that I'm not directly involved in the organization and planning. I'm available to do whatever needs to be done, and people, various teams may call upon me to share my experience or complete some sort of tasks and so on, and I'm happy to do that. But as the advisory council, along with Father Lejo and Mr. Jimmy Cherian and people like Dr. Fanu and Shrusti, another youth leader who has been part of Let Us Dream throughout her program, and it does wonderful work. Yeah, my role is I enjoy it now. I mean, I always did, but it's very satisfying. Considering I'm in my retirement and have been since 2014, so yeah, it's very manageable and very satisfactory. It gives me a feeling of accomplishment,
So it has
but
definitely
manageable. Sorry.
it has definitely changed from what you expected, but it turned out to be better in ways you didn't imagine.
Yeah, yes, it has. It has. Because I feel like all of the people on the advisory team uh, have knowledge and experience with Let Us Dream and are able to share that knowledge and experience. But at the same time, we still learn. It has changed. Let Us Dream has changed in terms of, various aspects, which we may get into
Okay.
later.
So, shared leadership is easy to say, but what does it actually feel like when you're the one holding the organization, the planning, and the communication?
It feels like you're not alone, for one thing. And that's really important. If you go back to the first online triennial conference, that could not have been successfully done without shared leadership. I'm a firm believer in shared leadership. And yeah, not one person can do it alone in that kind of massive undertaking. So it's this feeling that, okay, you have shared resources, shared human resources. What can be wrong with that? I mean, yeah, there are some things like the council, for example, the advisory council, uh, may have to make final decisions on. And sometimes Father Lejo will, and I'll give you one example.
Yeah, okay.
It's a free conference, you know that,
Yeah.
right? It's free in terms of no registration. As for the triennial conference this fall, people who are coming from outside the country of India, they have to find their own transportation in terms of funding for that. But accommodations and meals and pick up at the airport and return at the airport, that's all covered. I remember going back, if I go back to initially when we started doing the local conferences, and Father Lejo was adamant that it's a free conference. And I would remember saying, well, even if we charged a nominal fee, like $1, one US dollar, we could provide coffee and refreshments or tea or whatever it is that people want. And he said, he put his foot down. No, it's a free conference. And Father, as I always like to say, Father Lejo is very accommodating until he's not. And when it comes to that deep value that he has about this is a free conference, it's not exclusive. Everyone is welcome. So, yeah, that's we're talking about shared decision making. And what I'm saying is that it is shared decision making across the board, across all the teams. But sometimes when what is being decided has to be in alignment with the vision, the which guides everything that we do. So I don't mention free conferences to Father Lejo or charging a registration fee to Father Lejo anymore.
But that's really a good learning experience for all of us if we hear about it, because it talks a lot about not shifting from your principles and what you initially decided on, the root cause of what led to the start of this. So I think it's really nice.
It is. And yeah, it brings us right back to, the roots and purpose of the conference.
Definitely. So, ma'am, there's real growth in how students show up now in terms of the commitment, the spirit of it. So, where do you think that's coming from?
Uh, I think it's coming from the fact that when students are involved, whether it's the clubs, whether it's the conferences, whether it's the Dreams intervention program, the fellowships, whatever, uh, they see the outcome.
Hmm.
And so that motivates them. That's what I think. Now you're one of the youth leaders. So what do you think? Do you think what motivates you? That's what I'd love to know.
Okay, so to speak of Lavasa as a place, we don't have a lot to do in terms of, going out. We are in one place and we figure out what to do in that one place. And I'm very grateful to our campus for providing us with so many different things that we can engage in and do something with our career at the same time. So all of these things, they add value to our career, our goals, and our life in general. And Let Us Dream is something that is not something that demands a lot from you. The organization is not demanding at all. It asks you to work at your own pace, contribute everything that you can, anything and everything that you can. And yeah, I love how inclusive it is. Personally, like you mentioned, it's not at all exclusive. To speak of the conference, I'll be speaking of the organization itself. They're very inclusive,
Mhm.
they're not demanding, and they allow students to work at their own pace. So, unlike other clubs that require 100% commitment and have deadlines, this one is very easygoing, and the cause behind it is very nice, and it helps us connect to our roots more than any other thing could. Our values.
You're at Lavasa campus, are you?
Yes.
So you're with Fatherly Joe. Okay.
I meet
And
him on
yeah,
an everyday basis.
I'm sorry?
I meet him on
On
an
an every
basis.
yeah, you're very lucky to meet with him every day. Um, yeah, and my understanding that Lavasa is a little bit isolated from the rest of like the main campus in Bangalore. So having this opportunity to participate, as you say, in Let Us Dream from kind of from a distance, but you're with the founder and director, so that's helpful. That's wonderful, though. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you so much. So, to speak of communication in an organization, Let Us Dream runs differently than it used to. So, I would like to ask what exactly changed in the process?
In terms of the communication,
Yeah.
did you? Yeah. Uh, well, certainly with the growth of particularly the conferences, the triennial conferences, there's a lot more of meetings online, whether it's Zoom or Google Meet or whatever format. So uh, more than the local community conference where there may be some of that technology, website based meetings and so on, but there's a lot of face to face too. But with the triennial conferences in particular, uh, you have to be able to communicate with the people that you're meeting with online, and sometimes uh, there are some minor challenges with that. For one thing, time zones, like it's here this morning. We started our meeting here on my morning, 8:30 a.m., and you're 9 p.m. And
Nine.
then nine, well,
It's 9:30 right
oh, now, yeah, but we started the meeting at 9, right? But 9:30 now, yeah, it's 9 o'clock now here in Arizona. And and even just getting people together all across time zones, because that's the extremes of it. There's a whole bunch of places in between. And then when you get areas that are um, observing daylight saving time, for example, there's a shift, and that always requires people to rethink, okay, the meeting's not at 9 now, it must be at 8 and all this. So those are challenges, right? But you learn so much from that. And the beauty of that is that you're connecting with people that you probably would not meet in maybe even in your lifetime, like people across the world. And there are a couple of funny things, if you don't mind. We have time to tell you two little anecdotes about you had to. There are cultural differences in communication, and I remember the first triennial conference that went online. We were at a meeting and on Zoom, and I had made some sort of suggestion. And one of our team mates who was in Bangalore, she was shaking her head like that.
Yeah.
And I said, she was a wonderful member of the committee and a lot of work. She did a lot of work. She was a chair, for one of the days. And I said, Anita, you don't agree with me? I mean, I wasn't offended because I trusted her. I knew if she didn't agree, there was a reason. And she said, yes, I agree with you. And that was when people who knew said that, shaking your head can mean agreement, whereas my culture, at least what I grew up with, it's nodding. If
Yeah.
you shake your head, that means
It's
no.
actually this, probably. This means,
Okay, that was probably, yeah, maybe that was it.
yeah,
And I didn't catch
no.
the
This
difference.
means
Yeah.
yes. This means okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And one more. We had a doctoral student working on, Father Legio and I were in the process of putting together a booklet on the conference, Let Us Dream, and so on the triennial conference. And we had a student, a doctoral student, I think from South Africa, who was, doing some of the editing. And when I reviewed his work, I wrote in, the margins, uh, insert a period at the end of this sentence. And when I got it back, the word period was there. And Father Lecho explained to me, we say full stop. So when he he thought you wanted the word period in there, and we all had a chuckle about that. So those are just two anecdotes that I love because there are cultural differences, and I would never know that had I not been a participant in this Let Us Dream.
That's such a fun anecdote that you shared. Both of them actually. And I'm sure
Yeah.
viewers are also enjoying and learning at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. There are others, but we don't have time.
If you want, we could have a moment.
No, 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 no. Well, one more. I had written in, I think, I don't know why or how, but had written in the word coyote, Coyote, which is a wild animal here in Arizona and other parts of the world. But in any case, the student reviewer had no idea what I was talking about. We had a conversation about that, coyote, because where he was from, apparently there were, that was not an animal that was native to his particular region. So yeah.
We do learn from Netflix. That is our.
Yeah. That probably wouldn't happen today. I mean, you can easily Google something now or whatever, or AI and so on. You find out all kinds of information. But anyway, that was funny.
So it is believed that better communication builds stronger commitment. So what does better actually mean to you here?
Well, I think I'll just tag on to what we were just talking about. The communication is having that, well, being able to communicate orally, in writing, however, respectfully and hopefully clearly, uh, and also know that there are nonverbal ways that can be misinterpreted and to be aware of that, so yeah, communication extremely important. And I've seen communication improve in the way the framework for Let Us Dream now. Initially there was a framework in terms of how the teams were organized for the various aspects of a conference, for example, and what teams were involved and who was doing what and so on. But this year, which is really great, there's a way that they have organized the framework. They've tweaked it in other words, in that there aren't silos of teams now. It's not just communication within the various major teams, whether it's technology, whether it's media, whether it's panel discussion teams. Now there's a framework that provides a mechanism for communication across teams as well. So that's important in an organization. We can't work in silos. It has to be cross communication.
So, for someone who's just joined Let Us Dream, it feels like too much at once. For example, the
Mhm.
announcements. What do you tell them?
Hang in there.
Yeah.
uh, find someone, and I understand it can be overwhelming, whether you're a student or whether you're a professor at a university who has now become chair of a local conference for the first time. There's a multitude of resources already uh, embedded in the Let Us Dream organization, human resources I'm talking about. Well, there's also material resources as well, but the human resources are what really can be helpful. So talk to somebody, talk to the group lead, talk to others who are on the team. Don't hold it all in to yourself, because that's not going to work. So that's what I would say. Yeah, and also, no matter what, no matter how much experience you have, no matter what profession you may be in, and whatever your work involves, there are always going to be times, if you are someone who is motivated to advance in your particular area, there's always going to be times when you feel overwhelmed. That's not going to change no matter how. I'm in my 70s, and there are still times, depending on what, 73 is not a secret. um, there are still times that I feel overwhelmed if I'm embarking on a new initiative or project. That's not going to change, but you have to develop coping skills. I know better now how to cope with those kinds of feelings, and so learn from the experience and move on. That's my advice.
Those insights would really help somebody who would be joining us soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on to the next question. Why do you think anyone would sign up for this in the first place? And what would you say to someone standing in that starting line?
Well, I guess there could be various reasons why someone would sign up initially. It could be that, a friend signed it up, or a colleague signed up, not signed it up, but signed up. Uh, or it could be because they heard about the Let Us Dream and feel that it's a good organization and want to try it out. Um, or it could be, in the case of a student, it may be because it can give them some work experience, or credit towards, or credits towards a degree, or whatever. There are various reasons. And what I would say to them is, again, to go back to the person who may feel overwhelmed, give it time, give it a chance, and see if it's for you. And um, yeah, and hopefully reflect on your own values and passion and what you want to do. And if you have an interest in bringing about change, and doing something, however local or small it may be, but realizing that every little bit counts, and it can have all those little bits of good. To go back to Desmond Tutu's quote about do your little bits of good. It's the little bits of good. I'm paraphrasing, that can overwhelm the world, can have a great impact on the world. So think about that, and make the connection to what it is that you have a passion for.
That's
That's what I tell them.
So, is there one small moment from a conference, a conversation that just never left?
Um, I don't know if there's one conversation, perhaps. I guess I'll go back to Father Lee Joe's discussion about Let Us Dream and seeing, well, the Dreams Project and his research, and and talking about why he got involved, or not involved, but why he started it. It goes back to his roots, as I understand it, as a student at Christ University. And there were people that influenced him in his life to do something like the Dreams Project. So again, that remains. I still reflect on that and think about why I got involved, because I felt an affinity for Father Lee Joe's passion and vision.
Okay.
But altogether, there are so many moments that are really altogether have been so impactful in my life.
What's the trust hard part of holding something that is together across countries and different time zones?
Okay, what's the hard part of holding something together across cultures and different regions? Well, the hard part, I guess, would be, the actual meetings online. Not that that's not so much hard. I guess we talked about the
Technical
differences in
aspect.
time zones.
The
Yeah,
technical.
and yes, the technical aspects of it. Um, but that's where the good people come in, the good
Yeah.
people who have expertise in that area and can help us along. So yeah, that's the challenge. Yeah, but if it wasn't there, if there was no challenge, um, everybody'd be doing it. So and it gives you great satisfaction to know that you've overcome those issues.
So, ma'am, where do you want to watch LUD grow next?
I want it to continue to grow in terms of more local conferences in more countries, and more and continued and more growth in the people, the volunteers, more opportunities for youth leaders. I think is would be wonderful, because for sustainability, we need the youth to come in the door, open the Let Us Dream door, find out what's in there, and look around and find your area of passion and expertise and continue on. Because and hopefully get good orientation into the Let Us Dream programs, so that it will continue to grow and have an impact. So bigger and better.
Preach. Of everything since 2017, which moment are you the proudest of?
Oh, I there's I'm proud of it all, of course, but I have to say that the 2020 Triennial International Conference, going from a planned face-to-face conference at Christchurch, Christ University, in Bangalore, India, going to online and being a super success. That is one of a great proudful moment. But yeah, there's too many to really
I can
just
guess.
focus on one.
Even having watched it from day one, has anything about Let Us Dream grew still managed to surprise you?
uh, yeah, I think it surprises me every time I see new people come into the the organization, especially youth leaders and students and so on, and the energy that students like yourself bring to the organization. And you said that Let Us Dream is not doesn't really task you to do more than you really can do given your studies and so on. But it's still like this is time consuming, just sitting down preparing for this conversation that we're having, and sitting down in an evening where you could be relaxing. So that's to be applauded. Not that, and it's encouraging, very encouraging for the impact that hopefully Let Us Dream can have on global community improvement. So again, I want to thank you and all of your colleagues in your program, for the work that you do.
So, coming to our last question, 20 years from now, when people ask how this all started, what would you tell them? And what
20 years from now, I'll be 93.
I hope
Hopefully.
we can still have that conversation.
Yeah, we could have another conversation then. Okay. Well, the question was, what would I tell them? I would say that Let Us Dream started with, again, I'll go back to that seed of an idea, that germ of an idea about what Let Us Dream could be, which is, Father Lejo's vision, and that it's still working and growing and having an impact. I hope I can say this, both locally and globally, because so many people have joined and followed through and supported that vision. That's what I would hope, and what I hope I can say when I'm 93.
Looking forward to that, seriously.
I am too. I'll hold you to it.
It was really, really nice chatting with you, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out time in such an early schedule. I hope your day
Well,
goes well and you have a pleasant morning. And I will proceed.
well, thank you. Thank you, Sarah. And 9 o'clock a.m. is not early for me. My husband and I are up at the crack of dawn. So this was a joy, and I thank you. You have a wonderful evening, and I hope we can have a conversation again, even before I'm 93.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you, ma'am. You too.
Okay, bye-bye.